Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. Welcome back, Ben. He's been away on deployment. Unfortunately, he is about to mull to 3, so I guess I'll just get started with story time. I do not expect this first game to be particularly amazing. He is on Bomberman, Josh on Shadow. This is going to be an ugly one, so I'll try and cover it up with this tale of EW, which is also ugly. I was just eliminated from contention in the top 8, paired against a lovely lady who was also out of contention, and I drew my opening 7. One lander, easy mull. Didn't go to Pittsburgh to keep a hand like that, and actually say out loud, like, oh, that's a really silly way to lose. And as I'm shuffling for the next minute or two, getting ready to draw my replacement 7, I'm just riffing on just like, obviously the hand, all of them look amazing when you only have one land, and, just that general sentiment. And my opponent proceeds to just play a basic plains for the rest of the game, which is always awkward, but it feels so much worse when you've just been dumping on the idea of just keeping like a Timmy on, that one lander and maybe it'll get there. It was absolutely brutal. Talk about awkward. Yeah, felt bad about that one. Always feel bad when your opponent has a one lander for the most part. But man, that was some extra salt in the wound. Totally unintentional. As we see here, Ben fighting through. I mean, he's making a little bit of a game of it. He found a Cavern of Souls, and that Ingenious Smith was not able to be Force of Willed, so this could turn into a little bit of a clock. Wasteland takes out his land, but the Ingenious Smith actually found an Ancient Den. So this guy could potentially do some work. He'll become a 2/2. One of the problems with Death Shadow is that quote-unquote work sometimes just furthers their plan, getting them low on life. Not super exciting, but you do need to pass through that danger zone to actually get to lethal. It's not like you're just going to leapfrog with your Ingenious Smith from 20 to dead. Brainstorm finding that Wasteland. So Josh has had a tremendous amount of selection. Brainstorm, Ponder, and now Murktide and Death Shadow deployed in the same turn. And talk about leapfrogging. This is very close to lethal right now. This actually could theoretically be lethal if he removed 5 instants and sorceries with the Murktide and got down to 1 life. It's not quite that severe, but it is bad enough that Ben needs to chump block. And I'm not sure where he can actually go from here. If he has salvagers in hand, he could possibly top deck an LED. That actually would get there. But man, that was, a good showing for a mull to 3. That's all you can do there. All right, Ben's got to play this go around. Ancient Den, Lotus Petal, Chalice at 1. Strong opening for the deck. Bomberman. Pretty much a mono white list, I believe, the way that he has it built. Has Gyruda in the sideboard, so if you do get infinite mana, even if you don't have a card in hand to go along with that infinite mana, still get Gyruda and potentially find something that closes it out. Actually, Lodestone Bauble, a card that can close it out once you go infinite. For those unfamiliar, Auriok Salvagers allows you to pay 1 in a white to return a artifact, 1 or less from your graveyard to your hand. You just keep bringing back Lion's Eye Diamond, each time netting a white mana. Once you have, say, 1,000,000 white mana, then you can start doing that for other colors if necessary, getting essentially infinite of every color mana. Lodestone Bauble, however, when you recur that, sets up a bunch of triggers for your opponent to draw during their next upkeep. Is a very clean way to win the game. Him to Torok, wiping out Ben's hand, but he's found an Urza's Saga off the top, which is making some pretty beefy constructs. Josh, of course, this removal is so clean. Snuff Out, just unbelievably good. Taking out this construct for 4 life, aiding the Death Shadow plan. But yeah, this Chalice at 1 just doing work. He's got Brainstorms, he's got Death Shadows. He's going to need something to get rid of the Chalice. And he takes out the Urza's Saga, but I think he's still in dire straits. We've got a Patchwork Automaton, and that is a wrap. Back lethal with the Urza's Saga construct. Card does work. See a Force of Will in Josh's hand. Prime targets for that. The tough part about it is once this deck gets to... I mean, really, any explosive start can really be difficult to contend with, as Salvagers create value on its own aside from winning. Back Chalice, for example. Force Pitching Days. Chalice has been stopped. Such a key card in Legacy. Just so good. It's interesting to think of what would have happened if that card ended up being red, as was the original plan, hence the red art. Missed out on a iconic looking card for sure. The contrast in between the red and the blue. Unmistakable. Across a room. Patchwork. Automaton. Did you say automaton or automaton? I feel like I hear automaton more. I wonder if it was like a US or a British thing. Or if I just say it completely wrong. Let me know in the comments. We've got a Murktide facing down a much smaller creature. Both a 2-mana investment. Both looking to get counters. Murktide, a bit better at it. Oh, and Daze denies that Salvagers. Daze just so good. Patchwork, a really difficult card to answer. Ward 2 makes... I mean, even a card like Snuff Out, you're taking a turn off and 4 life. Down to 2. And the... I don't have that one queued up in the slideshow. That's the new Tempt Phyrexian Arena. That'll do it. No answer to the Murktide. And Shadow takes it down in 3.